As we gear up for the highly anticipated 2026 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers have made some significant roster moves that are bound to stir up conversation among the fan base. On Friday, General Manager Brian Gutekunst released 3 players, making it clear that the team is preparing to reshape its roster ahead of the draft. So, where are you watching from today? Leave your thoughts in the comments below as we delve into the implications of these moves and what it means for our beloved Packers. Linebacker Jamon Johnson, tight end McCallan Castles, and cornerback Tyron Herring have all been let go, and it raises the question, why now? The Packers began the day with 78 players under contract, factoring in Dante Barnett, an international player pathway participant who doesn't count against the 90-man roster limit. With only 77 players on the roster, the Packers have now opened up room for 13 additions in next week's draft. This decision is pivotal, especially as the Packers are set to have 8 draft picks, offering them the opportunity to not only bring in those 8 rookies, but also to sign 5 undrafted free agents. It's a calculated move that signifies a commitment to bolstering the squad with fresh talent. By trimming the roster, the Packers could potentially add a total of 16 players by the end of the draft, giving them more than enough chances to hit the jackpot with their selections. Let's take a closer look at Jamon Johnson. Last season, he was the only one of the 3 released who saw game action, participating in 2 games, including a solid performance against the Minnesota Vikings in Week 18. He recorded 10 tackles in that game alone. Johnson was an undrafted free agent who came to Green Bay after a successful collegiate career at Kentucky, where he racked up 13 sacks and 24 tackles for loss over 4 seasons. Despite his talent, the fact that he wasn't drafted was a surprise to many, and the Packers took a calculated risk by signing him with a guaranteed $115,000. However, he spent the entire season on the practice squad and was ultimately released due to a non-football injury. Then we have Tyron Herring, who also went undrafted last year after a standout career at Delaware, where he was a semi-finalist for the William Campbell Trophy. Herring made a memorable impression during the preseason, delivering a game-saving hit against the Colts. The Packers recognized his potential enough to bring him back to the practice squad after releasing him at the end of camp, but ultimately, they decided to move on. Herring himself has expressed aspirations beyond football, stating his goal is to run for office one day. While admirable, it does highlight the uncertain path that many undrafted players face in the league. Finally, McCallan Castles, who was brought onto the practice squad after Tucker Kraft's unfortunate ACL injury, ended up on injured reserve and never got a chance to make his mark on the team. With Castles' release, the Packers now have 5 tight ends on the roster, which still includes promising talents like Kraft and Luke Musgrave. With these roster moves, the Packers are now left with 6 linebackers, including a Jaron Cooper and Zaire Franklin, who will need to step up and fill the void left by Johnson. Meanwhile, in the secondary, they have 7 cornerbacks, including Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine, who will have to battle for their spots in what promises to be a competitive training camp. As the offseason program kicks off on Monday, with voluntary workouts and organized team activities scheduled, the urgency to solidify the roster ahead of the draft is palpable. The Packers draft begins on Friday, and they hold picks in the second round at number 52 and number 54 in the third round, along with several others in later rounds. This is a critical moment for the organization, and how they navigate this draft could define the team's trajectory for years to come. With these roster changes, the Packers are sending a message. They are not settling for mediocrity. They are making room for new talent, and they are determined to build a squad that can contend. It will be fascinating to see how these moves unfold in the context of the upcoming draft and how the fan base reacts as we inch closer to a pivotal moment in Packers history. Now, let's turn our attention to what's next on the Packers' agenda as we continue to dissect the implications of this draft season. In the exhilarating world of the NFL Draft, one name is beginning to rise above the noise: Jordan Van Den Berg. The Georgia Tech defensive lineman has been making waves, and not just because of his impressive stats and workouts. His lineage speaks volumes about the athletic prowess that runs through his veins. With a grandfather who was a 2-time Mr. Universe finalist and a grandmother who held multiple swimming records in South Africa, Van Den Berg embodies the spirit of a true competitor. So, Packers fans, where are you watching from? What do you think about the potential of this player joining the team? The Green Bay Packers are among the 9 teams that recognized Van Den Berg's talent, bringing him in for a pre-draft visit. His journey to this point has been anything but typical. Born in South Africa and moving to the Atlanta area at just 10 years old, Van Den Berg faced significant hurdles. As a senior in high school, he stood at 6'3" and weighed 230 pounds as a linebacker, yet he was a zero-star recruit. This didn't deter him. Instead, it fueled his determination. In high school, I had one D3 offer, he recounted. I knew what I was capable of doing. I knew I had the ability to play at a Power 4 school. So, I decided to bet on myself. That gamble led him to Iowa Western Community College, a launching pad for many Division I prospects. Transitioning to defensive end, Van Den Berg's work ethic kicked in. I was like, hey, coach, I'll play whatever. I just want to prove myself, he said, showcasing a mindset that any coach would cherish. His family may not have supported the decision initially, but the results spoke for themselves. He packed on 40 pounds through relentless training and an extraordinary diet, earning first-team All-American honors with 4 tackles for losses in just 6 games. Van Den Berg's subsequent journey took him through Penn State and ultimately to Georgia Tech, where he shone in his final season. He started all 13 games, accumulating 3 sacks and 11 tackles for losses, solidifying his reputation as a player to watch. Despite being overlooked for the scouting combine, he showcased his immense potential at Georgia Tech's Pro Day, posting a staggering 35 bench press reps and a sub-5-second 40-yard dash time. His relative athletic score of 9.99 ranks him second all-time among defensive tackles, a testament to his unique skill set. Coaches and trainers have been struck by his athleticism. Woody Thompson, a performance specialist at Exos, noted Van Den Berg's otherworldly ability to jump and his impressive agility for someone of his size. You just saw him float a little bit, Thompson remarked, highlighting the remarkable combination of size and athleticism that Van Den Berg possesses. His training sessions have revealed not just a freak athlete, but a dedicated individual who is eager to learn and improve. The fact that he refers to his trainers with respect, calling Thompson Mr. Woody, shows a humility that is often overlooked but is crucial for a player's long-term success. Off the field, Van Den Berg is a well-rounded individual. He enjoys fishing and hunting, often taking his kayak with him during training. He's not just a player. He's a person with interests and passions that make him relatable, and that's something that resonates well with fans. He has a deep love for the Packers, having visited Green Bay multiple times, even picking up a hoodie that he wears often. His connection to the team is palpable, and you can't help but feel that he would carry that passion onto the field if given the opportunity. As the draft approaches, expectations are that Van Den Berg could be selected on day 3, potentially as early as the 4th round. He possesses all the traits to develop into a significant player in the NFL. They feel like I got all the traits that I could develop into a big-time player, he stated confidently, emphasizing his readiness both physically and mentally. His status as a first-team academic All-American speaks volumes about his intelligence on the field, an attribute that teams are increasingly valuing. As we reflect on the potential of Jordan Van Den Berg joining the Green Bay Packers, we can't ignore the emotional weight of his journey. His grandfather, who is now living in Florida, is really excited about his achievements, and you can't help but feel the pride in his voice as he anticipates that life-changing phone call come draft day. I've always been a firm believer in my faith, he said, and I know God took me on this crazy journey for a reason. I just can't wait for it to all come true. For Packers fans, this could be a moment to rally around a player whose story is as compelling as his athletic ability. He's not just a name on a draft board. He's a testament to hard work, resilience, and an unyielding passion for the game. As we look forward to the upcoming draft, let's keep our fingers crossed that Van Den Berg finds his way to Green Bay. His blend of talent and character could make him a cornerstone of our defense for years to come. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your thoughts on Jordan Van Den Berg in the comments. What do you think about his potential fit with the Packers? Let's keep the conversation going.